we're at the end of the list. Let's see if we have any more check-ins to tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. Please call now.
UIView will not do IP connections to a TNC. You must use the classic COM port. In fact, part of the load in the Veritrack is an application that does IP to serial conversion precisely for that reason.
Okay, I'm glad I wasn't going crazy. I gotcha. So I'm going to have to visit your website again and see if I can get something for that, because I like UIView. It looks very what's the word I want? A lot of options on it, and it looks like something that would provide a good service. And I figured since you used it, that kind of tells me it gives it a little thumbs up for usage. So that answers my question there, Stephen.
For it to really come to life, you've got to add the third-party precision mapping and the precision mapping server plug-in for UIView, so that it has fully autonomous, zoomable, scalable, street-level maps for anywhere in North America without having to have an internet connection.
Yep, that makes sense. I kind of noticed that as well. So I think I'm going to be visiting your website.
UIView was written in the UK, and the map load that comes with it is strictly for England, and they're static maps. They're not zoomable or scrollable. We Americans had this huge advantage, Americans and Canadians, in having the precision mapping plug-in that allowed this commercial CD-ROM-based mapping product to be used with UIView to give fully zoomable vector-based maps. Zoom out as far as all of North America or down to street level, just a block across or anywhere in between. And the Brits never had the advantage of such a mapping product, so they had this mashup of fixed static maps captured off various sources, scans of paper maps or websites or whatever. But UIView really flies when you get the precision mapping server installed.
WHBCI repeater.
I noticed that too, Stephen, the lack of adequate mapping. So I can see where that would be a tremendous program with a couple of little add-ons there. So good to know. All right, one last call for check-ins. This is Rick, KC8LOQ, Net Control. Anyone wishing to join our Slow Scan TV Net tonight, please call now. Right, it's pretty quiet. So, guys, let's get to what we came here for tonight. WD8 PVS. Charles, you're first in line for an image.
This will be coming across on Scotty 1.
QSL card, Charles. I noticed there was a little static at the bottom. I hope we aren't losing the repeater tonight and have to QSY, but we might. And there's a skew in the middle, almost halfway down, that looked like it either lost sync or something, because the top half of the moon, well, not the top half, probably a quarter of the top is skewed over, and something happened during the transmission there. But I assume that this is a sample of your QSL card.
It is. I frankly ran out of QSL cards after, I don't know, I think the last time we did QSL cards was in the 90s, actually. And I haven't had any for a couple months now, and I've gotten some requests to send some out. So, yeah, I took the picture that you probably remember. I took that, I think it was last year, we had the full blood moon that also had the eclipse, and that's one of the pictures I took with the 5-inch reflector, and of course my cell phone at the time. And that was during the eclipse, as you can just see. And I thought that'd be a good picture, so kind of worked out pretty good. So I can't wait to see the final, production of them.
That was a beautiful, or is a beautiful image. I'm just amazed your cell phone does as well as it does there. And that's my QSL cards are astronomy related also, and I haven't sent one out in ages. I'm like you. I used to do it a while back, but I don't even do them electronically or anymore. I get a lot from the people, and sometimes I feel a little guilty for not responding in kind, but I just don't. It's just something I haven't done in a long time. But there you have it. Rob, KF8CHS, a comment. Rob may have had to step out. Rob, KF8CHS, are you still with us? I knew he was short time there. We'll mark him as gone here. KF8 APM, Jason, a comment.
KF8 APM. Yeah, I had the same issues you did, Rick. It's a really nice looking QSL card, though. I do like it. I like the colors and everything. It looks pretty cool. But yeah, I had that weird sync thing right there, kind of at the top of the moon, and then a little bit of static at the bottom. But looks pretty nice. Yeah, KF8 APM. Back to that.
I'll watch this static that we're getting, guys, and if it starts showing up too much, we'll QSY to 146.700, but we'll hold here for a little bit. Hold, see what happens. NT0Y, Jay, a comment.
NT0Y. Yeah, the colors came through. I mean, yeah, all the problems that you guys mentioned earlier about the transmission, but I love the colors on that image, and it'll really pop off on a QSL card, especially one that is, like those. You can do QSLs with glossy or matte photo paper. Those definitely have some extra cost associated with them, but boy, this would really pop on one of those.
How I used to do mine is I just got some printer paper and ran it through the HP inkjet and cut them out, sent them. So, but I'd do about a dozen at a time, and then I'd run out and have to print them all again. So this, you're right, would definitely stand out on semi-gloss probably, and or matte finish paper. W8RQS. Steve, your turn for a comment.
Charles, I like what
you did with the call sign up there, starting at red at the top and letting it fade on down to white, which kind of matches the photo of the moon. That's pretty cool. So my hat's off to you. Nice touch on the artwork there. W8RQS.
When you were saying that, I have visions of QSL cards that would be animated and be as thin as printer paper. We may not in our lifetime see them, but it'd be nice if they went through the mail and you opened them up and they just continuously run with an animated segment with the moon on fire and the letters rippling, and it could last for years with we don't have the technology yet to do that, but maybe someday. I just had a flash in my head how cool that would be. WA8LMF, Stephen, a comment.
W8BCI repeater.
Yes, this is WA8LMF. I was seeing that tearing also. What it is that the sending program wasn't properly calibrated for slant correction. You simply must calibrate MMSS-TV before using it on the air by using their test setup that's on the transmit page of the setup options and calibrating it against the time ticks on WWV. If you don't, the transmitted signal the timing will be slightly off because the timing of the computer clocks that drive the sound system in most computers, most of them are not terribly precisely calibrated. And you'll actually be transmitting a slightly slanted picture. In turn, the receiving end attempts to correct for that. But if the receiving end is also out of calibration, especially worst case in the opposite direction, then ultimately the attempt to correct for the error lets go and you get that slip as it resyncs. But other than that, yes, it's a nice picture. Also, the audio level was way too high again. Again, the audio level chronically, the voice signals are too low and the video transmissions are too high. WA8LMF.
Thanks, Stephen. You've got good perspective on these. Yeah, that definitely makes sense, what you're describing here. And I'm guilty, too, of, I did calibrate my SST, MMSSTV, until I had to reinstall it, and I never went and recalibrated again. I'm hoping that maybe some of the cal files were still left over, but I can't say for certain. So I got to put that on my list of things to do. It's easy enough to do. Most receivers will get WWV or the one of the, if not the Canadian, the American time signals. They're at 10, 15, 25, I believe, are the main ones, and usually the 10 comes through, or 10 or 15 comes through for me really well. So, all right, let's see. With that, next is Jason, KF8APM. Your turn for an image.
All right. I will. Let's see here. We'll do Scotty 2 on this one. The repeater drops.
go. Jason, what a fine piece of gear. Man, that power box is really nice. And I would hope that it comes with those 2 ice fishing rods that I see just below them. A perfect accoutrement there to the power box. Tell us, is this yours or the one you guys built?
No, this is the one that we made for Mike. But yeah, I know my neighbor. He makes custom ice fishing rods too. So he made those 2 ice rods for him. I helped make the box there. Got all the stuff around for that, and designed it, and we got that all put together. He actually made that. He 3D printed that. There's you see a little cup on the upper left-hand part of it. That's those are UV lights or UV LEDs in there, and so you can drop a teardrop in there that glows in the dark. You can put it in there, and it'll make it glow bright, and then you can fish with that at night. So he made that up for him too. But the rest of the stuff, you can see they've got some covers on them right there in the middle. But the one you pop up, and it's a cigarette lighter, so you can plug in any kind of 12-volt accessory plug. And then the other one's got a voltmeter on it, and some USB-A and some USB-C plugs in them too. So works pretty good. And you got lights on this side and that side, and just kind of makes it nice. You can plug things in, and you can see what you're doing, and they're pretty light too. So works out pretty well.
For charging, Jason, is it you just use one of the USB plugs?
Well, you can use that to charge phones or whatever you've got that's USB, but to charge they're light batteries that are in there. To charge those back up, we did a little bit different thing. I've got some RC, some lithium chargers that I use for my RC stuff. So I charge mine right through the post. Typically, I just backfeed it through that. But for this one, we put a separate plug on the side with a specific light battery charger. You just plug in and leave it, and it monitors it and charges it appropriately for them. So just keep it simple for them. So works out pretty well. Back to that.
Nice piece of gear, Jason. Charles, WD8PVS, a comment.
It was perfect on that. And yeah, that looks like that is so handy. Even comes with ice fishing rods. Boy, you couldn't ask for better. WD8PVS, I'm going to see 73s, guys.
Hey, Charles, thanks for joining us here tonight. And you take care, stay warm, and don't forget to play in tune. We'll see you. Jay, NT0Y, a comment.
NT0Y returning. Yeah, I love that battery box. And it's got just about everything on it that I would want, maybe with the exception of, if you could even begin to, it's not that big, but if you could stuff an inverter in there, a 12-volt inverter, that would really seal the deal. But as far as ice fishing goes, you don't need a 12-volt inverter on there, so that thing is awesome. They recently, the cheap Chinese battery companies in particular, with the lithium iron phosphates, have started catching on that people are doing this with these batteries. And they're looking for ways, because the battery market is so saturated with 12-volt, 100-amp-hour lithium iron phosphates now, that they're looking for ways to differentiate themselves. Just making it cheaper isn't doing it anymore. These batteries are already, going towards the $100 mark for the cheap ones. And so they've started putting some of this stuff on there. Obviously not an inverter, but they've definitely started putting USB ports and extra terminals and the cigarette lighter style chargers and that kind of stuff. So, but from what I'm seeing, still none of them are doing it this well.
WHBCI repeater.
This is excellent. I just recently got a Jackery generator system, with LED panels, which I I'm going to really come to appreciate. So, and I think it's something that'll work really well on my mobile station. So I'm anxious to try it out and put it through its paces here. But this is really outstanding, Jason. You guys did a wonderful job. It really looks professional. W8RQS, Steve, a comment.
Looking package looks like it's put together well, and I guess I'm going to have to take a picture of the device that I have and send it maybe next week. Two other comments. Rick, there is a program called EasyPal that will do GFI files, so you can have like a little animated QSL card or something like you were driving at there, but we can't do it through MMS SSTV. Second comment here, I'm using a program called Check SR, and you don't need a radio signal or time clicks or anything. This thing runs an algorithm through the sound card. And I usually let it run to get a real precise, accurate. I let it run a half hour or more, and it keeps getting it synced in more and more as it goes, because it runs on there for a while. But it gives you what I consider a dead accurate sync to your sound card. W8RQS.
Okay, I wrote those down here, Steve, especially the Check SR. I think I've got it. I had a program that did that once to my sound card, is calibrating them, and it ran for quite a while. I can't remember the name. Also, I use Dimension 4 is the one I use that syncs my computer clock with the time service, and there's a whole list of services in there, and it walks through to find one that's available. And every half hour, it syncs up the time on my PC automatically. Dimension 4 is the one that I use. I know there's others there. But the QSL card I was thinking of, Steve, is, just like a piece of paper, the thin, like you would ship it like a postcard, but all of that technology would be in that sheet of paper to animate the image on the front, be flexible. It'd have a battery, but it would be no thinner than a sheet of paper and run for years. And I know the technology doesn't exist, or maybe it does, but I don't know about it. But that would be cool if you could save stuff like that for over the years, and it would still run. But W8 LMF, Stephen, a comment.
WA8LMF. It's somewhat kind of power box that I have built, but not as elaborate as this one. And again, the real issue with using lithium batteries in a device like this, a so-called 12-volt lithium battery, to completely, fully, and deeply charge it, you've got to be able to put in 14.6 volts. So trying to plug this into a normal 12-volt power supply or the cigarette lighter in your car or something is never going to completely deep charge the battery unless you have some kind of voltage up-converting device like I have in the trunk of my car to charge 100 amp hour lithium off the car's electrical system. It's a Victron isolated DC-DC converter that will take 9 to 36 volts in from the car's electrical system, and it puts out a totally isolated, stiff 14.6 volts, so it'll fully charge the lithium battery.
Good information to know there, Stephen. I'm not sure what this jackery, I think the jackery must take care of that internally, because It's all self-contained, and I can charge it a number of ways. But internally, I got to believe that they've taken care of it. I'm not real sure. I'll have to find out exactly what type of batteries are in this. Well, I should know. I'll dig a little deeper, try to find out. Okay, where are we at? We're at NT0Y. Jay, it's your turn for an image.
NT0Y. Well, as usual, lately, I haven't used this setup in a while, so I have it where I think it's working. You mind if I send you one line and try not to waste everybody's time by sending a whole bunch of nothing?
No, good idea. Send a few lines, too. We'll make sure we're getting something sensible.
Nope, I've detected a problem. Hang on one second. Alright, let's try this. How do we do there? I'm sorry, I think the repeater cut you off.
Didn't get anything, Jay.
Alright, maybe skip me and come back and I'll do some troubleshooting. Sorry about that.
No problem. We've all been there, believe me. W8RQS, Steve, your turn for an image. Steve, W8RQS, are you ready for an image?
Thought it was. But, guess I've got an issue as well. I'll check this out and maybe next time. W8RQS back to net.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that has these issues. The other day, I think I can't even remember what went wrong. It was wrong, though, so don't feel bad at all. WA8LMF, Stephen, are you ready for an image?
Yes, I am. This is WA8LMF. And since we're talking about power supplies in the field, I thought I'd get this. I just took this shot with the iPhone of a portable power bank that I keep in my kit of stuff for field operations. This is your typical cell phone external power bank. It's a 10,000 milliamp hour power bank, but the added twist on this one is it has a built-in solar panel. And if you just leave the thing lying around in the sun, it keeps itself charged, ready for use without ever having to be plugged into AC power with a wall wart. At the near end of it in this picture, you'll see
W8BCI repeater.
Near end of it in this picture are a micro USB port for charging it, and two USB-A ports for powering or charging gadgets off of it. What makes it kind of nifty, at the far end, you can see a couple of rounded bumps. Those are a couple of very bright LED lights, so you can use this thing as a flashlight. And on the bottom side of the case, opposite the solar panel, you can't see it in the picture, there's a little magnetic compass built into the thing. It's a very useful gadget. and they're only about $20 on Amazon. I got it off Temu before they disappeared, but you can also get them on Amazon. Anyway, here we go, PD-120 when the repeater drops. Now this thing, the solar panel doesn't put out that much power, as you can guess. It's not very big. If this thing is completely flattened, it would take about 3 days in direct sunlight to recharge it. But normally I just leave this thing sitting around in a south-facing windowsill so that it's always topped off and ready for action when I need it.
Holly, Stephen, I think I've got almost the exact same model, and I've had this for a while. It's about the size of a cell phone, and I just leave it in my car, and just the sunlight going past when I'm driving or the car sitting in a parking lot is enough to keep it topped off for me. And that's it's a sweet little machine for, or a charging station for cell phones or earbuds or iPads or what have you. Yeah. I bet it's the exact same one. I bet to go out and take a picture one of these times and send it to you. So I love mine. It's a nice, and I always do like solar charging paraphernalia, if you call it that. Let's see. KF8 APM. Jason, your turn for a comment.
KF8 APM. Yeah, the image came through great. Looks good, and nice looking image there. Yeah, those things are pretty nice. They're a lot smaller, but they very, very useful for any kind of USB charging and stuff like that. And solar panel on there is definitely helpful. Nice. Those things are pretty neat. KF8 APM, back to net.
You bet they are. Let me check just to make sure these two guys aren't along here. KF8CHS, Rob, are you still with us? WDA PVS. Charles, I think you've gone too. Okay, I'll definitely mark those guys out. NT0Y, Jay, a comment.
NT0Y. Yep, I like any and all devices for charging batteries in alternative ways. And this is definitely an excellent example of that. I like any and all solar technology, although it can sometimes be very difficult in the winter up here in Michigan. But for the spring, summer, and fall, and for anywhere else south of here, I guess you'd have to be considerably south for it to be reliable in the wintertime. But I think solar is an awesome technology for harnessing natural energy.
Said it better. I totally agree. When I was little, I used to play with little solar cells to run a motor and a little propeller, and thought that was just the neatest thing in the world, and I always have. I wish our country were a little more pro solar panels and the development and research of them, but we'll see. W8RQS, Steve, a comment.
Nice looking little unit. There was a guy came in on a sailboat probably about 4 or 5 years ago, and he had a solar panel that was a roll-up. It was flexible and would roll up, so it was I don't know, something like maybe 8 inches by 1.5 feet or something. He would just unroll that, and then he had his solar cell there. So I always thought that was pretty nice. I don't know how much it cost or anything more about it, but it was. I was impressed that it would roll up. W8RQS.
I remember seeing something like that, Steve. It was either in an ad or it was on television or something, but I do remember seeing that where somebody had developed that. Yeah, great idea, for keeping something like that, in a smaller area than it would take if you were to have to fold it up. Well, let's see, Jay, NT0Y, you ready to give it another try?
Yeah, I think I figured out my problem, but why don't I send you 2 lines here and just make sure, and then if not, I'll just call it a day.
Right, go for it.
WHBCI repeater.
I got it, Jay, but your volume is really, really low.
Okay, I boosted the volume a bit. I don't really have any reference for my deviation right now, so here's my undialed in PD120.
golly, Jay, this looks like something out of the 50s. What a classic card. But I do see the February 2020, is that 2026 or is that 25? It's 2026, huh? And I like keep at it, it's worth it. Where, something Chillicothe, Ohio. What? Tell us the story behind this.
Well, it's definitely the story more than the card, although I do like the card too. I like how he tried to get all the detail in black and white out of... I really could not even begin to identify what rig that is in the middle of the bottom, which is the front of the card. But this is actually my first CW for QSL card, so this goes right up there with all the D-Expeditions and all the other stuff. This one is pretty cool, and I think he has a really unique card. It's simple, and it doesn't try to do too much while being interesting to look at. So this is WK8M, and yeah, I don't even know if I could properly pronounce that city without looking it up online first. But first CW QSL card on 7.056.
That definitely deserves a place of honor. What a... I mean, you could, by looking at it from a distance, you think this came out of the 50s or something. I would estimate that this is an elderly amateur ham, not only from the design of the card, but by the looks of that radio. I bet Steven could tell us what that is. It's either a Hallicrafters or a Collins or something like that, or even something funnier. Boy, yeah, that's crazy. Cool picture, Jay. KF8 APM, Jason, a comment.
Well, that one came through. There was a little bit of interference on that one. There's a bunch of lines in it, so it was a little bit hard to read some of the stuff. But I definitely did see. I got a kick out of that. Keep at it. It's worth it. But yeah, that's pretty neat, Jay. You always end up with these cool ones. Thanks for sharing that, though. That's pretty cool. Nice job with that. KF8 APM, back to that.
That's our repeater providing that static there. I got it too. Unfortunate. W8RQS. Steve, a comment. W8RQS. Steve, a comment.
I don't know what that thing is. It looks like really old school. Like a home brew or something. That's my opinion on it. But yeah, cool. Your first card for CW. Good going. I haven't got mine yet. W8RQS, back to the net.
Now that could be a home brew. It's going back there. WA8LMF. Comment?
Yeah, this is WA8LMF. I think it may be a military surplus of World War II or Korean War vintage, if it's actually a real radio at all and not just a drawing of a generic radio. But again, the audio level was way, way down. It was about 12 to 14 dB down from where it should be, and that's why the noisy background from the repeater. If this thing had been at the proper deviation, probably it would have completely covered up the cracks and pops in the repeater audio.
That repeater has trouble with lower signals. It's very problematic there, but yeah, that I'm not familiar with a lot of the Armed Forces look there. Yeah, there's not enough detail in, but that sure is an old-timey rig, I'll tell you that. Along with that character on the left, that's right out of the, 40s and 50s look there, definitely. Crazy stuff. All right, let's see. Steve, W8RQS, are you able to, you want to try an image?
I think it's the washout for me this time. Kind of a shame, but things just aren't working here. I'm actually on a different desktop machine, so there's something going on with the COM port somehow. Well, I'll figure it out before next week. Hey, I just wanted to let you know we had quite an after the net party last Sunday night. I think it was kind of close to midnight before everybody signed out, but since the repeater got lively, a lot more people started joining in, and we just had a good time talking. So, W8RQS back to net. Oh, and thanks for, well, this is not the 73 round, but thanks for running the net. Really appreciate it.
WHBCI repeater.
Welcome, Steve. I wish I could stay up to that late. I peter out quick. I just haven't. At 75, I just haven't got the spunk that I used to have when I was younger. Plus, my wife and I celebrated our anniversary here a couple of nights ago, and we stayed up late and had just a ball here. So I'm still trying to recover from that. That was a wild time for both of us. So, well, let's see. We're at the bottom of the list. Before I send some pictures here, let me see if we got anyone that would like to join us for tonight's Slow Scan TV Net. This is Rick, KC8 LOQ Net Control. Please call now. Okay, sounded pretty quiet there. I am going to send, well, let me start again. I'm taking an astronomy lecture series from the Kalamazoo Astronomical Association, and it's bringing back all the things that I forgot when I went to school with astronomy. I had a minor in astronomy in school, and ended up refreshing a lot of my memory. But this is a part of the series where they talk about binoculars. And I know, like many of you, if you've ever tried to use binoculars, either in a terrestrial setting or an astronomical setting, that especially with astronomy, holding the binocular steady and having the crook in your neck trying to look overhead is really problematic. Well, this is a picture of a binocular stand that just amazed me, and I never thought of it. And it's home built, but it solves both of those problems. And I'm definitely going to be building one. And I'll give a few particulars on it after I send the image for you here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is PD-120. is a wonderful little gadget where you using a fixed mount for the binoculars into a front surface mirror into the sky. You rotate the mirror around to different positions to get a view in the sky. And being a front surface mirror, and that is that the reflective coating is done on the top of the glass, not underneath where you have to look through a layer of glass before you get to the reflective material, because that would slightly distort the image. So this is a top surface reflective material. And the binoculars are fixed. There's no cranking, getting a crook in your neck, and you move the mirror around to look at different portions of the sky with an absolute steady picture. And I'm just amazed. I'd never even thought of this, and it looks like it's easily built. So I am going to definitely try this, because I've got a nice set of, I think they're 15 by 50s. 50 millimeter and objective with a 15 magnification binoculars that I use for astronomy. And they're heavy, and it's very difficult to use them for sky viewing. But this I think would definitely work for something like that. At least I'm going to try it. KF8, 8 p.m. Jason, comment.
KF8 8 p.m. Well, Rick, that one came through pretty good. I got a couple lines on it, but not too bad. But yeah, that is an interesting setup. Really interesting. Neat idea, though. You know, like you said, so you don't end up with a sore neck. So that's a pretty smart idea. Neat little setup. And I like the idea of the what you call it, first surface glass, I think is what it was. But yeah, it's their first surface mirror. Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. That would obviously help out a lot. So thanks for sharing. That's neat. Back to Nat.
Well, I'm going to give it a try, a few 2x4s, and I think the mirror is probably going to be a little pricey, but it's worth it, I think, to get, especially with astronomy. Puts a lot of strain on optics. So, NT0YJ, a comment.
NT0Y, yeah, image came through great. I think I figured out, well, no, I didn't really figure anything out, because I was over the volume level that I usually use to send pictures, and it still was not enough. I think my DigiRig is finally completely dead. I was already bypassing the input, and now it seems the output isn't working either, which was the source of my problem. So, it's time to order another all-scan URI, and I'll order it with the serial interface to keep things simple. But until then, I guess I can send scratchy pictures. Yeah, I like that apparatus. I mean, you got to be looking up an awful lot to need one, but I see where the use for it would be. And, boy, I wonder if you could use something like that for a, I don't know, like a solar eclipse situation where you're going to be checking out the eclipse for a long period of time. That would also prevent neck strain. And then you could apply to that mirror side, or to the binoculars, I guess, but probably for safety, the mirror side, you could apply some sort of tint that would be rated high enough to avoid burn-in in the eyes. So I can see there's probably a variety of uses for something like that.
That would be perfect. They make filters for binoculars that you could purchase, and also film for solar observing that you could put on the mirror as well. So yeah, that would sure, and plus it'd give everybody a chance to look through them without having to reposition the binoculars. I'll explain some other things I heard after we go through the list here. W8RQS, Steve, a comment.
W8BBI, repeater.
Interesting, Rick. I noticed these he's only looking through one side of the binoculars, which keys my brain into saying, why not have a camera? You know, with a 600 millimeter mirror lens looking into the mirror below, and I would like to see what that would look like. W8RQS, back to net.
Exactly. That would work too. WA8LMF, Stephen, a comment.
Yeah, this is WA8LMF. Where did he come up with per surface mirror like that? I'm used to seeing those in very small pieces inside instruments and scanners and such, but a big one like that, where did he get it?
It's a good question, Stephen. During the lecture, the presenter did not say where he ended up with a mirror like that. So I have yet to research where to get something like this. It could be harder than I had anticipated for something like that, but that's a good question. Additionally, I found out for you guys who are interested in this kind of stuff that a new type of binoculars are coming out. Maybe within a year. I know Nikon is leading the pack, and they're called the smart binoculars. And what they're able to do is, one feature they have is identify, there's a database that can identify over 1,000 birds, if you're a bird watcher, that automatically appear on one side of the binoculars as part of the display. And of course, your brain, as it looks through both lenses, both sides, merges that into one image. It can also do measurements, like if you're doing mountains, things far away, it can measure height. But one feature I thought was really remarkable, if I could describe it correctly, and that is they call it pinning an image. So let's say you're up at the sky and you're looking at a constellation, and you hit this button that calls pin the image, and you hand these binoculars to somebody else, and there are arrows that guide that person to where exactly they can look in the sky for that image, instead of you having to point to it and say, oh, a little to the left, a little to the right. The binoculars guide the person to that location with arrows and positioning. So you can hand the binoculars to anybody, and they can find the exact thing that you were looking at. And this is just a few of the features that they're coming out with, in addition to the image stabilization ones they've had for a number of years now that stabilize the image automatically. So, yeah, the world of technology is getting to binoculars. So, with that, I think it's time for our bonus round here. So we will do whatever image that you feel like sending. You can describe a little bit of it as you send it, or just send it along, and we'll interpret it as we may here. And I'll start it off. I don't have really anything earth-shattering to send, but I saw this, and I think I might have sent this one night, so I apologize if you've seen it before, but I've always liked the J. Ward cartoon series with Peabody and the Wayback Machine and a number of others I can't think of. Eddie and Peabody, that's right. So here's a good old J. Ward cartoons with Eddie and Peabody and the Wayback Machine coming at you in PD 120. right, was the other character that Jay Ward drew as an artist, and a couple others too. I can't remember, but I remember going to a Jay Ward Film Festival in Ann Arbor, and great stuff. If any of you people are my age, you'll probably remember some of these. But anyway, there you go. All right, let's see. KF8 APM, Jason, how about an image?
KF8 APM. Okay, we'll send this one to Scotty too as well. This was from, I think it was last weekend when it was nice and sunny out. Jack was helping repair the shock on the rear skid of my snowmobile, so a little hard to tell, but we'll send it, see if you guys can figure it out.
Repeater.
Go in the shop. All right, NT0YJ, an image.
Well, we'll see if this works any better. This is the crime scene after dropping a French fry at Olympic Broil, no matter what time of the year it is.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going for it. What a crime scene, I tell you. Great shot. W8RQS, Steve, an image.
I'm not up and running tonight. I'll work on it. It has something to do with using a different desktop here, but I'll sort it out. Hey, that looks like Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes, it does. All right. Hey, I forgot. Sorry. So we'll get you up and going, I'm sure, by next week. WA8LMF, Stephen, an image.
Hey, this is WA8LMF. This is a screen capture of the Veritrack screen using what you're seeing is UI view combined with precision mapping for the map in the background. And in the foreground, you can see the Vera modem with its waterfall, and also the GPS status monitor, which are separate applications. All of these things start up automatically when I boot the stick computer that's got the Veritrack set up on it. Anyway, This really needed PD290, a 600 by 800 resolution, so it's really pushing the limits on what you can see at only 640 by 480, but, and again, be sure to zoom it up with a magnifier after you receive it. WA8 LMF PD120 when the repeater drops. At this level, zoom level on the map, only the interstate highway system shows. As you zoom in, you start seeing the older U.S. numbered highways and secondary roads. And you get in closer, you start seeing the major streets in cities. And when you get really close in, you start seeing all the streets, the small side streets in towns, all on the same mapping system. Anyhow, that's the Veritrack screen. If you look carefully, you can see 3 call signs out west that I was receiving. This is actually monitoring 40 meters, 7083.5 upper sideband, and was captured just moments before I transmitted it this evening. Back to net, WA8 LMF.
Fantastic, Stephen. Yeah, I would use a program like that. That is remarkable. I got it, a couple of times I have tuned in on the 40 meter APRS frequency there, but I didn't sit long enough to get any good response, and I got sidetracked, and I'd like to go back to that again. That was some, that's interesting to see what you can get nationwide there. And that's a remarkably high-res image, definitely. Wow, incredible. All right, guys, I think it's time to wind it down. We'll go into the 7-3 round here. Jason, KF8 APM, 7-3 round.
KF8 APM. Well, great net, guys. I know we had a few issues here and there, but always work through the stuff. And good images, lots of good conversations, and good company, too. So I always look forward to this net, and it's one of the few that I join. A lot of times I'll listen to some of the other ones, and I just don't feel like talking that much, but this one, you guys are. It's always fun talking with you guys. So do enjoy it. And Rick, yes, we will be doing syrup here soon. So I will keep you informed, and maybe if timing's right, maybe get you out here and you can help make some syrup if you want to. So, but I'll keep you in the loop on that. So, with that, everybody have a good week and stay safe. And 73s.
Right, Jason. Well, definitely keep me in the loop there. Good having you with us tonight. And say hi to Matt and Jack for us. And you take care, and hopefully we'll see you next Sunday. NT0YJ, 7-3 round.
NT0Y. Yep, good pictures all around. Sorry about the malfunctions on my station. Hopefully the picture that came through are off that time. I practically cranked the volume up to 100%. Again, not sure what's going on with that. I'll have to do some diagnosing to figure it out. I really haven't had much time to play around with the rig on this W. Like I said, I've been doing a lot with CW and the FT710, but I really have not even begun to touch my dual bander and the whole setup with it. And where I left the digital interface last was the input was just completely blown out. And the output was okay, but now it appears as though the output is doing things too. So, time for a new interface. Onward and upward. Good hearing everybody tonight. And again, Rick, awesome job. My favorite net of the week as well too. And it just shows how crazy life gets when I miss this one. I try really hard not to miss this one. So 7-3 all around. Talk to you soon. NT0Y.
Jay, thanks for checking in with us. Say hi to your family and good luck on to your wife there for U of M. I'm kind of a Ann Arbor person. I spent over 20 years in Ann Arbor after high school and lived there for a long time. So I know the area well. It's a pretty cool place. So U of M is, I think, a really, really nice school. In fact, a couple of my friends even worked there as in maintenance. So when I was growing up, but never got a chance to go there. We didn't take night classes, and that's where I kind of came back to when I got older, after dropping out for a while. So anyway, I'm getting off track. Take care, Jay. Hope to see you next week. W8 RQS Steve, 7-3 round.
Net as always. And Jay, don't worry if you miss a net or two. It's always on ham radio. They always say it's family first. So, so it's nice to hear you on the air tonight, though, and everyone else. So, I guess that's it for my station. 73 to all, and we'll try to make it functioning again next week. W8RQS.
Steve, it's always good to hear from you, and thank you very much for checking in. And you're a good source of pictures and information, so don't stop hanging around. We like to see you. You take care and try to stay warm. I guess it's going to get colder here, so we'll catch you down the log there. WA8 LMF Stephen, 7-3 round.
This is WA8 LMF, and not much to say at this point, I guess. Other than I wished I could have done that in PD290, which would have taken almost 5 minutes and would have timed out the repeater, but would have given the resolution adequate to really show the details in that screenshot. And that's already cropped. The original was 16:9 widescreen capture of Veritrax monitor, and I cropped it down to a 3:4 aspect ratio one for SSTV transmission. So that's already chopped way down from what the original was. Anyhow, I guess that's it. 73 to everybody, WA8LMF, clear and listening.
Stephen, it's always good to have you stop by on Sundays, and don't ever make a stranger yourself. I'd love to see your pictures here, and I know what you mean. There's some pictures I'd like to send really high res, and you just can't get it in 3 minutes. It's too bad we can't maybe send some tones to the printer and override their timer. But if I ever get that figured out, I was going to say I'd let you know, but I probably shouldn't let anybody know. Just happens to work that way. I don't know. Any rate, guys, we'll put the pin in it here, and thanks to all of you who took part tonight in Carl's Central Michigan Slow Scan TV Net, and invite all of you back for next week's session. We would like to also thank LCDRA for their support and maintenance of this and the other Lansing area repeaters. Without them, we wouldn't be able to use this one. So I'll sign now and return this repeater to normal amateur radio use. This is Rick, KC8, LOQ 73, and catch you down the log.
This is the WHCCI repeater PL100 Hertz. This is the WHBCI repeater PL100 Hertz.
U8RQS testing.
W8BCI repeater.
U8RQS.
This is the WHBCI repeater PL 100 Hz.